good people? Boy, E-Buck is the Big Buck Sports Report. Another week we're trying to talk about, and we're going to talk about it quick. You will notice in the Guru's football section, when we break it down in a hurry this week, and we not hold you up, so we're not going to hold you up here. Topic of discussion for this evening to begin with, MLB playoffs. We have game 3 tonight between the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers already up 2-0. I must admit, I am very surprised by that early on. As you know, Houston has the experience edge here. They have been in the American League Championship Series the last 6 consecutive seasons. They have made out well, knowing they have ultimately won 2 World Series titles in that process. You definitely had to get a pitching edge to them early on when you consider that they had 2 of the better pitchers going in games 1 and 2. Verlander did a pretty good job in that game 1, but made a couple of mistakes, and they were costly because on the other end, Houston could not capitalize, and they won that first game 2-0. They, of course, Texas, that is, won that first game 2-0. They then went on to game 2 where the pitching matchup pretty much evened itself out. They jumped on the pitching early on in that game, Texas Rangers did, because they do score in bunches. That's pretty much how they've done it most of the season. They then had to hold on for a 5-4 win. Tonight they have the future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer going for the Rangers on their end against that Houston squad. He's coming off injury. He hasn't pitched since September 12th, so he's had some time to rest up. And you would think that would play to advantage Rangers. But I just have a strange feeling that Russ might get the better of Max. I do believe if the Astros are going to get to him early on, it needs to be early on in those first couple innings. Once he gets rolling and gets through that lineup one good time, if they have not capitalized, look out. It could be crazy. And I do believe if the Texas Rangers manage to win this game and go up 3-0, that this one is a wrap. That not only will they win the series, but they probably will sweep the Houston Astros. So this is a must-win game for Houston in Texas. But I do believe they have the team to do it. Alvarez for the Houston Astros has been hitting monster shots all postseason. These last couple years, it seems like when the postseason comes, he's a whole different hitter. He is very locked in. Throw him a fastball at your own peril. If I was the Texas Rangers, I don't care what the situation is, bases loaded, bases empty, whatever the case, I would not pitch to that dude, period. At all. Not at all. I would walk him every single time. I would give him the Barry Bonds treatment. That part. I believe if they adopt that and they basically shut down the rest of that lineup, that they could get it done. But we will see how it goes for game 3. As far as the National League Series goes, now for those of you who are saying baseball is dead, that is boring, that you don't get it, that is the series for you to watch, the National League Series, particularly when Philly is in Philly. Philly baseball fan is awesome, okay? They love those Phillies. That love comes right off the screen when Philadelphia is playing there. And then their key acquisition in the past several years, one Bryce Harper, the man that makes over $400 million over the course of the next 10 years. He is starting to earn his keep when it comes to that postseason, particularly at home. The stat of the day in regards to Bryce Harper, he hits over 350 at home, as opposed to 234 on the road. So definitely they took advantage of that and have won the first 2 games in Philly. Now, of course, go to the desert of Arizona. We will see how that works out again. Clearly must-win game for Arizona, even more so than the Rangers. I wouldn't be surprised than the Astros. Wouldn't be surprised if the Astros pull out a couple and make it interesting. Bottom line, if Arizona does not win game 3 tomorrow, they are done. Done, done, and done. And that being said, I agree with my partner Hugh, who will talk about it later on in the episode of the Guru football session that became basically the Guru sports session this week. That it doesn't matter who comes out of the American League, they will probably face Philly and they will probably lose. I do believe it is Philly's World Series to lose at this point. They are out for revenge after losing last year to Houston. I think we could again see Houston and Philly once again. I do believe Philadelphia Phillies will be your World Series champions, but we will see how it plays out. That being said, that's all we got for the baseball because we down like that. We are going to go to a quick commercial break and we're going straight to the Guru's football session soon after that. So stay tuned. This is the Big Buck Sports Report. I am your boy, Big Buck E-Beezy. And we'll be back after these words from my Nighthawk Network. Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on?
We're not asking for your permission. We're not seeking your approval. We're claiming what's ours in the name of our ancestors. We are their answered prayers. This is more than a movement. This is a revolution. Black innocence. What are yours today?
Yep, y'all know what time it is. It's time for the show up in the show thing that we call the Guru football session. And of course, we can't have the Guru football session without the Guru himself, the sports guru, Hugh Lee. What's up, Hugh?
Hey, what's up, man? How everything going?
Hey, we doing what we got to do to get it done. And we about to do the same here. Let's get to talking about this football. It was week 6. Teams got the plan. Hugh got to looking at them. He ready to break them down. I'm ready to co-sign. Let's go, Hugh. What we got? What we got, man? Who we got first?
Game at first because you had a 4-1 respectively and a 3-1 team who are both doing good, man. The losses they had easily could have been wins, man. I think that this is the best time to catch Philadelphia Eagles because when they played them before, I thought that they had a chance. They just shot themselves in the foot, and I don't think the elements helped neither. But definitely have to give credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But in this game, I think the Lions definitely showed their dominance, though, because I definitely thought it was going to be slightly closer, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And yeah, it was bad. They settled for 2 field goals.
When all is said and done, last time this year, let's go there. Yeah. Last time this year, Lions 1-5. 1 win, 5 losses. This year, same time, 5-1. Tied for the best record in the NFL. Y'all see the Kool-Aid. It's delicious. Continue, Hugh.
I want to get into the upset games that happened recently, the 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. I think it got to the point where everybody was giving San Francisco their credit where credit was due and saying how they were the best team, and they still look like it. It was just, in this case, man, we know that injuries happen. When you lose Trent Williams and then you turn around and lose Deebo Samuels.
Then you lose Hugh. Oh, no! Stand by, good people. Stand by. We are currently talking about the 49ers versus the Browns game that happened last week. Technical difficulties do happen from time to time. We're trying to get Hugh back in the building. While we do that, I will say that, those injuries piled up on the 49ers in that game, and that's definitely what caused things to be a little different. Yeah, granted, Browns do got a very good defense. You got to give them credit for that. But when all was said and done, he missed the field goal. It was that close. All right, we got Hugh back now. What was you saying, Hugh?
I felt like that it was a pretty good game, and it definitely should have still went the 49ers way, but it doesn't happen that way all the time in the pros, man. And I just feel like Moody missed a really good kick, man. Kick that he normally makes, but in this case, the pressure is a little different in college, man. And I just don't think that in this case that what else can I say? He lost the game for him.
I mean, bottom line, when you see the actual kick, he barely missed it. I'm not. The only reason why you would trip on that in that particular instance because Moody was the only kicker in the last 10 years, actually, to be picked in a round of the NFL draft before the 7th round. In fact, the only kicker to be picked in the 3rd round ever. So when you take that dude that high, you basically just expect him not to miss anything ever. So it is what it is. We can move on.
He missed several kicks, but the Jets and the Eagles was a pretty good game too. I just feel like a lot of people don't give credit where credit is due. Yeah, the defense played good, but Zach Wilson had to make some of those throws for them to win the game. And I just feel like in this case, they had a team a sound team. It was just at the end of the day, I feel like it's one of them games that anything can happen. And I feel like this was the most mistakes I've seen Jalen Hurts make right now after, getting A.J. Brown and getting all those people affiliated with the team. And it's kind of difficult them trying to get with the new offense. But, yeah, man, I got to respect, and everybody else should put more respect on the Jets name because they're getting better every week.
No. This was an every given Sunday game. Any given Sunday, your team could lose. That was the case for the Eagles. They had a bad game, plain and simple. Jets still the Jets. Jets still hanging in there somehow, some way. They 3-3. Probably shouldn't be. Are they playoff bound? Still don't think so. No. Hugh, are you there, buddy? Are you with me? Come on, man. Let's do this, man. Hugh?
You keep going in and out. I could barely hear you.
Those technical difficulties starting to pop up again, folks. Don't know what's going on here. Just keep going, Hugh.
What I was saying is, you keep going in and out. I could barely hear you.
I hear you just fine, buddy.
We can go to the next game. The Cowboys versus Chargers.
All right.
I feel like Brandon Staley do Brandon Staley things, man. But at the end of the day, you can't blame it all on Brandon Staley. I feel like Justin Herbert is starting to look more like a pretender than a contender, man. When you need him the most times when the game is on the line or when the ball is in his hands, he's doing stuff like throwing interceptions and making bad plays. So, yeah, that was a game that they lost. But at the same time, you can't put it on all Brandon Staley. I have to put some of that blame on Justin Herbert. And they paid him all that money. So, I mean, it's time for you to put up or shut up.
Let's be honest, people. All the quarterbacks that got paid this season, right now, they're not really faring too well. Let's just keep it real. I mean, you got Joe Burrow, not so much. You got Jalen Hurts, not so much. You got that kid Herbert, not so much. It's starting to make you question, should you go turn around and get your quarterback? I mean, even you look at your boy over there in Baltimore, he doing okay, but I don't think none of them is earning that big money at the moment.
I agree. They definitely don't look like they
said, the Cowboys, they won, and all the people that love the Cowboys, we promised we would talk about them, so here we are. But y'all know y'all escaped that game. It was several plays where San Diego, was trying not to. The Los Angeles Chargers could have done better overall. I still say Staley is on borrowed time. It is what it is. Continue, my brother. Continue.
Okay. The International Series game. That was another one where they barely escaped, man. Didn't really see a lot of good out of Lamar Jackson, like you were saying, man. And you can't even say that he the MVP. Whoever had Justin Tucker, man, must have did real good in fantasy, man, because that dude had 18 points, and it's sad too, because he scored more points than the Tennessee Titans did as a whole team.
Yeah, I understand that Baltimore didn't show their best work last week or the week before, really. Not good receiver play going on there in Baltimore. I think that's the key to why they doing okay, but still not quite where they should be at this point. They got to work on getting them receivers to catch the ball, look the ball in, and then run, as opposed to dropping the ball or catching it and not doing much with it.
Game that I thought was going to be a little more interesting. It was a little more defense than offense. Was that Seattle Seahawks game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I feel like the Bengals defense definitely bailed them out of that game.
I would say it is encouraging that Burrow is looking better the last couple weeks, knowing that he had the bad injury early on in the season. Seattle kind of one of them teams you still don't know quite what to make of them overall. They definitely had their good points, like when they played the Lions and won. But then they had a game like they did with Cincinnati where they kind of didn't show up at times. I still think Seattle is good enough to make the playoffs, but I don't know if they get better, worse, if they just kind of go game by game. I'm not quite sure what to make of Seattle. Cincinnati, they back on the come up. I'm feeling good about Cincinnati.
The game that I was looking forward to seeing at the time too, what I looked at and thought it was going to be slightly better, but it was actually a little bit going leaning towards the worse side, man. Was to see how well the Houston Texans will play against the Saints. I didn't think that they would really play that good at first because that was one of their, I felt like, real big tests. But it wasn't really a test at all. Yeah, I know Derek Carr's dealing with injuries, but I just feel like that team ain't meshing and getting together, man, on offense or defense. And right now, they're not showing me too much. But I had to give respect to the Houston Texans too, man. Pull out that win because they look like a really sharp team, and I think they got the steal of the draft when they get C.J. Stroud in, turn around and got Will Anderson.
Houston is playing good football right now. Stroud, I am very impressed by this season. I really thought, like pretty much mostly everybody else, that when we were looking at the rookies, it was going to be the young man that's in North Carolina that was going to be head and shoulders above the rest. Clearly, that is not the case. Stroud looks like an NFL quarterback. He is playing with the confidence of an NFL quarterback. I think Texas only get better from here.
One of the worst games to me that I seen recently was the Thursday night game. The Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. I still feel like they was trying to get that team acclimated and they was trying to get things together with Kansas City, and they got some help coming on the way. McCall Hardman should be back on the team, but the Broncos, man, I don't know where the hell they were saying. I think Sean Payton said he seen some good to that Kansas City game. How is that the case when y'all only scored 8 points, man? It's like right now, I just think that he needs to keep quiet and continue to try to do something or at least try to make the team respectable. But yeah, man, how did you feel about that Thursday game?
Well, you got to be seeing good from that team as opposed to what they showed the first few weeks of the season. Remember, this is the same team that gave up 70 points a few weeks ago. They didn't give up 70 points last week. That's good. You got to consider the whole picture on this thing, Hugh. Defensively, they are playing a little better these last couple of weeks. But that being said, the offense now not looking so great. I still don't say that it is Russ's fault that they are where they are record-wise, but he definitely ain't the cause to why they shouldn't be per se either. He definitely looks like he is not progressing and actually regressing in terms of his play. Like suddenly Father Time is starting to catch up with him. But yeah, I think when Sean Payton should have been quiet was when they asked him, did he want the job? Several people have said this, and I agree with them. He should have waited until a job that fit him better came available, like more than likely that San Diego job, for instance.
Yeah, because with that being said, I definitely feel like once the trade deadline comes, they're going to be getting rid of some people, and they're going to be huge sellers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of some of the people I was hearing right now. Patrick Surtain is one of the guys they wanted to keep because they wanted to build around him. But other than that, that being said, they said everybody else is up for sale.
I'm not mad at that. I'm thinking the same way about those Detroit Pistons if we get off to another bad start this year. But of course, that's another sport for another time. But yeah, Broncos not the team that we even thought they could possibly be at this point. They are trash.
I want to get into some of the college games that happened just recently too. One of them was a game that when I went back and seen who we went for, I think both of us said that we thought that Notre Dame could definitely win this game, but I didn't feel like Notre Dame was going to beat them this bad. But they made them look like they wasn't even in the same league, and that's what let you know that USC has to do better on defense, man, starting now.
We said it last week, man. That defense in USC was going to eventually catch up with them. I wasn't even thinking about at the time that they're going to play Notre Dame that week. It was just the fact that, based on what happened with the Colorado situation, knowing Colorado is not the team that some people thought they were. I knew Colorado was better, but I knew that those days would come for them. But nonetheless, USC, they're not winning the national championship this year. Another loss like that, I don't think that we're going to get another Heisman for Mr. Caleb Williams because that defense is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It is a Big 12 type defense, and that's where we got to be concerned about with Lincoln Riley. Obviously, a great offensive coach, but when it comes to defense, not so much.
Yeah, I definitely was surprised that they got beat that bad. Yeah, we knew they was in Notre Dame, but actually I thought that USC would at least came out a little bit more dignity to have the 3 interceptions that he thrown too. That was definitely uncharacteristic.
That was him trying to make up for that defense.
Everyone is titled to it.
That was him trying to make up for that defense, knowing that it was on him to win the game. He did too much. He felt like he had to. It was hero ball.
And that caught away.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, I definitely thought that Miami would play with a little bit more decency because they lost to Georgia Tech on a stupid play to where all they had to do was just take a knee the week before. And I thought that they would definitely be coming out swinging this game. At first, the game was pretty close, but then North Carolina pulled away with it. And it definitely got to the point where it got so bad that Drake May got out of the game. And because at one point when I seen him, when it was 17-41, then it was time to sit him out so he wouldn't get injured on any stupid plays.
I will pass on this one, Hugh. I have nothing to say about that game. It was what it was.
The Oregon game and Washington, I definitely was surprised because I thought that Oregon defense would show up a little bit more, but Washington defense was just as superior. And at the end of the day, when they needed the big play, Michael Penix was the one that came out on top of this rivalry, which was a really good game. I mean, they only won by 3, but at the same time, that was one of the best games I've seen in college in a while. I haven't really been too happy with what's been going on. It's been kind of like to the point where you'll get a number 3, 2, or 1 team against a team that has no business even playing them. And I believe that they need to do a better job at putting more ranked teams against each other.
I would say that definitely was one of the best games of the season, no doubt. I think when we look back on it in a few years, we're going to find that there were several people that are currently in the National Football League that was in that game at that point. I mean, you got 2 long-term veteran quarterbacks, at least for what counts as veteran these days in college. Remember, Bo Nix at one point was with Auburn, and Penix Jr. at one point was with Indiana several years ago. And they have taken full advantage of COVID years and college transfers and graduate transfer and all of that. So, you actually got two people that should be a lot closer to pro ready than your typical quarterback coming out of college because they have all that extra experience. And it definitely showed at times on both sides in that game. I like that game very much. I'm not surprised that Washington won, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they had lost either.
I want to get into some Week 7 games that are going to happen in the NFL, starting with your Thursday night game.
We going straight to picks like that? Oh, wow. We flying through it, y'all. All right, then. Well, let's do it. What you got?
Jaguars and Saints.
Okay, I'm going with the Jaguars. Saints not looking too good these last couple of weeks. I don't see them improving enough to beat a team like Jacksonville. Just Jacksonville with ease.
They have this by one, but I definitely got Jacksonville. I feel like with them in their ground game, that's going to definitely cost them some problems. I feel like the defense for New Orleans hasn't stepped up at all, and I definitely believe right now that Trevor Lawrence is more talent and he's a better quarterback than Derek Carr. So, yeah, I'm going with the Jaguars.
All right. Who's next?
Lions and Ravens. They got Baltimore by 3 at home.
Now, here's the thing. I know the Lions is my team, and everybody's on that big roller coaster. The Lions getting a lot of respect out here in these streets on the sports talk and all of that. I would kind of be surprised if we pull this one off, to be honest. This is the type of game that the Lions probably may not be quite ready for. You look at the two teams at face value and you figure, okay, well, Baltimore ain't no world beaters from what we done seen. But remember, Lions always seem to have problems with those quarterbacks that can kind of scramble. You know what I mean? Think about that game with Seattle. And you already know that your boy Jack is definitely a better scrambler than Geno. So I think that's going to be the key to try to contain Mr. Jackson. If they can do that, then I think we could do it. The problem is that because we are banged up, particularly in the running back situation, that's going to be hard for us to control the game tempo. And as a result, it's going to be tricky. The Lions could win this game. I just don't think that they will. I will gladly get clowned on next week if they do, though. But I'm going to have to go with the Ravens on this one.
I'm actually take the Lions by 3. I totally disagree with you right now because I just don't really see much that the Ravens did to convince me. But like you said, I still wouldn't be surprised if they, the Lions lose a game like that. But then people be like, oh, man, they're the same old Lions. But, yeah, it's just right now, the injuries will catch up with you. Ask San Francisco.
The 3 factors.
Browns and the Colts.
3 factors with that Lions game. Jackson, more mobile quarterback. They got the better kicker. It's at home. Outside of that, I would have took the Lions too. Next game was what now, Hugh?
Browns and Colts.
That's a game I'm definitely not going to watch. Especially that.
Okay, you can go next if you want.
Richardson's going to be out for the season. And, of course, Deshaun's not going to be back. You would figure, based on what we saw last week, you got to go with the Browns.
Yeah, we could have picked next on that one. Bills and Patriots.
Bills and who?
Patriots.
Bills and who?
Yeah, we could go next. There's a lot of next on here. Commanders and Giants.
Okay, what was that again?
All right, we're going to go down to the ones that seem a little bit more interesting. Falcons and Buccaneers.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right, Falcons, Buccaneers. That might actually be a better game than we anticipate. The Falcons, I feel like they kind of on the verge of a little something. Ritter's starting to figure out bits and pieces, I feel like. Will it be enough to win this week? It could be, because this is one of the rivalry games. They in the same division and whatnot. I think Baker will have a better game than he had last week against the Lions, absolutely. But I'm going with the Bucks, but I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I have the Bucks. And it's funny too because they only have about 2.5, so I take that spread.
I would take that
The
spread.
Steelers and the Rams.
That actually might be a better game than you would anticipate as well. That Steeler defense is what is keeping them in the conversation. Because when we look at that offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we like, this team should not have won any games. But because that Pittsburgh Steelers defense will show up and show out at times when you least expect it, I think it's a possibility they could win this game. Do they win this game? I don't think so. But again, I think it's going to be a lot closer game than you would anticipate. I mean, is it where is that game this week, by the way, Hugh?
It's in LA.
It doesn't matter where that game is, because even when LA is at home, they still on the road. They have
and that's one of the
home team advantage ever.
And you know, the Steelers fans travel heavy, man. That's something we starting to do too, which definitely makes me proud. You know, that's one of them heavy travel teams. So the Rams might not even feel like this would be a home team. But I'll take that spread too. It's only a 3-point spread, so I'll definitely take it.
It don't seem to matter what team they play. It's always more visitors at SoFi than it is the home team. And that's ridiculous. Whether it's the Chargers or the Rams.
I see another one I'm going to skip. Two of them I'm going to skip, and then we're going to get down to some of the nitty-gritty games. The Chargers and the Chiefs.
Chargers and the Chiefs. Now we talking. Now, see, the key to that game is two things. One, how injured is Herbert? Understand that his injury is supposed to be on his non-throwing hand, but, you know, the way quarterbacks grab the ball to hike it or hand it off or whatnot, that is still affected by that, first of all. Second of all, we still waiting for the Chiefs to really be the Kansas City Chiefs. We still have not seen a full Kansas City Chiefs effort this year. They are scoring just enough to keep up with their defense, and it's making their record what it is. We know at some point Mahomes and all them going to get it together, especially now that they got a receiver that I think would gel with some of the other things they got going. This might be that week. I'm going with the Chiefs, man. I am going with
I think it's going to be good for them to get McCall. They needed McCall Hardman back, man. That's how bad things have been. They actually did a trade with the Jets to get McCall Hardman back, to get some type of chemistry on that team. But I think it's going to be a little lower than the 5.5. But yeah, I picked the Chiefs on this one too. Damn, this one should have definitely been the Monday night game, man. In my opinion, the Dolphins and the Eagles.
Dolphins and the Eagles. Again, that's another good matchup, folks. I am liking the Dolphins in that one because that offense is clicking on all cylinders right now. And the Eagles, they not quite where we thought they would be this time of year so far. They're having some injury issues defensively. Secondary ain't quite playing up to where they should be. I think that's definitely going to be hard to contend with on a week where you play the fastest team on turf. So, yeah, I'm looking at the Dolphins in that one.
And the funny thing is, we still don't really know for sure if Darius Slay or Jalen Carter will be back in that game. They saying they should be back, but you never know, man. You could go ahead and try to do a little warm up on game day, and you know you might not be feeling right. So until I know for sure, then if they're going to play, I'm going to still say I'm not going to take the Philly with the 2.5-point favor, and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to get that to the Dolphins on the road.
All right, Dolphins
now,
it is.
The Monday night game, the 49ers and the Vikings.
Now, we pretty much should just pencil in the 49ers outright But you got to remember, a lot of injuries
Those
going on with the 49ers right now. So I think the key is how many of those players do they actually get back for that game Monday night? If you get back McCaffrey and you get back Trent Williams, I'm pretty sure that game shouldn't be much of a deal at all. If they don't, then I think it's going to be tough for them to win, but I think it's doable. Remember, the Vikings without the best weapon in the National Football League to some degree with Mr. Justin Jefferson. Without him, they're a very plain-looking team.
I'm not even gonna take the spread neither. I'm gonna go ahead and pick San Francisco, but I'm not gonna say the 7-point spread. I think it possibly might be closer because they're more human when you don't have a Trent Williams playing and your McCaffrey and your Debo Samuel. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely pick San Francisco with a slight edge on that one. And I want to go into the NCAA, some of the games that I saw that I thought that it was going to be decent in week 8. The first game, which is strange to me, you probably get a laugh out of this too, not disrespecting Alabama, but damn, they gave them a 9-point favor in this game against Tennessee. Now, if anything, I would take Tennessee by 3. Because the inexperience they had at quarterback, and I still feel like that dude's been kind of iffy. But at the same time, I don't really trust the O-line as well. They're very suspect. The defense starting to play better, but I can't definitely say that they'll win this one by 9 points, though.
I don't have no big problem with Milroe. He is a decent college quarterback. Yeah, his offensive line is not quite what we are used to from Alabama. Milton on the other side, they kind of mirror each other in a way. Milton probably got, well, I ain't gonna say probably, he does have a stronger arm, but they kind of play the same in regards to being able to run and being bigger quarterbacks and whatnot. Both of them at times reminding you of the great Cam Newton. So, yeah, I get that. Tennessee's defense is a little bit more suspect than Alabama's. So I would get an edge to Alabama. I don't think I would get them 9, though. I do think
no, not at all.
Game. The only reason it may be a little bit more than that is because it's in Alabama.
Because I would give them 3, but 9 is pushing it, E.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get the skeleton on the room, E. We could have passed this game, but I want to talk about it because I hate you, MSU fan. The rivalry game. Michigan versus Michigan State. I know it's a rivalry, so it's going to possibly be closer than what people expect. But how do you feel, E, about the 24-point spread that they're giving Michigan on the road? Are you going to take it?
I will tell you now, if there's any type of weather event during the time of that game, throw that 24 points out the window. If there's any type of rain, wind, snow, sleet, if any of that's going on Saturday when they play, forget about that 24 points. First and foremost. If everything is cool, weather's fine, everything is clear, I'm still not taking that 24 points. This is a rivalry game, okay? You should be ashamed of yourself as a Sparty if you allow Michigan to run roughshod over you like they've done pretty much every other BS team they have played this year. In a way, Michigan State might almost be the best team we've played so far. That being said, we ain't played nobody. And from what I see with Michigan State, the football team, they too is nobody. We should whoop up on them easy. But it is in Michigan State. And like I said, if any weather becomes a factor, that will be a factor in the game. But yeah, you know I got blue.
I got them, but I only have them by 10 points. 24 is a little bit too much of a pipe dream, especially in a rivalry game, like you said. And that's what I'm going to go with, a 10-point spread. If they won by 24, I know you're going to lose no sleep, though.
Nah, I say they got a hot 2 touchdowns on them, yeah.
But check this one out, E. I knew this one was coming soon. At first, I thought it was last week, and I was about to say it was a little more loaded with, ranked teams. But we have the Ohio State playing the visitors, Penn State. Now, this one's going to be a good-ass game.
You nasty mouth troll. How dare you call them that? Not in my house, you won't.
I'm
Never
at
again.
home, E.
Never again. That school down south against Penn State. Let me say it properly. Yeah, Coach. You know Coach V gonna get on you for that one. But anyway,
I'm okay with that.
it's gonna be a good game. I really think so. Again, this is always that time of year where Penn State then got all hyped up all year, and they thinking, okay, this is finally gonna be the year Penn State returns to glory and starts showing that it's more than two teams in the Big Ten. Penn State, this is your opportunity to prove yourself. Will you be able to step up to the challenge? Ohio State is good. They always will be good, but they are not a great Ohio State team. This is a team Penn State should beat. I think they will not beat them. I want them to. You know I want them to. I don't never want that team down south to succeed in anything. I don't want them to win in cornhole, let alone football.
I don't only think that Ohio State will win, but I think they're going to win with more than that 4.5. I would give them a solid 7.
Damn near blowout. I hope not. But yeah,
all right.
Watch it, and I'm go Nittany Lions, I guess.
This one that I'm looking at, they caught my eye too because I was strolling through and trying to see what was going on before we got on the show. Duke facing Florida State. Florida State had a few hiccups that they capitalized on. I believe they're that good of a team, but yeah, do you definitely choose Florida State? And if you do choose them, do you choose them by the 14.5 that they're giving them?
I got Florida State. No, I do not choose them by 14.5. Florida State better than Duke, period.
Utah versus USC.
Now, you know I've been talking about this game all year, Hugh, that this was going to be one of those games to mark on the calendar. Based on what happened last week and the fact that they say Cam Rising might actually play this game, it could get ugly. It could get real ugly. I honestly think this would be the best defense that USC play all year in Utah. And if Caleb ain't up to the challenge, they might get blue. I'm going with Utah, man. I am.
I'm gonna roll with USC because I think that Caleb Williams will capitalize, but I'm taking it by 3 points. I ain't taking a damn 7 points. You out of your mind if you feel
Good
like
luck,
that's
buddy.
gonna be.
Good luck, buddy.
And I looked at these games and I felt like I really thought that they was gonna be something that was interesting, definitely to catch my interest, but it ain't really no other games that I've seen that really made me say, okay, I want to see these games because I'm like we talked about, it's not really too many of them that's worthwhile, man. And they have to do a better job with the college because you got Oklahoma versus UCF. Like, come on, man, you guys. Then you got Air Force versus Navy. Those always
no, hold on, Hugh. Hold on. Don't sleep on that Air Force versus Navy. Those games against the Air Forces, them tend to be some tough matchups. That might actually be pretty good.
I was surprised the Air Force was ranked 22 too as well.
Yeah.
Another game that I see here could be a trap game, but I don't think that Washington State gonna let that. I mean, I said Washington State. I don't think Oregon gonna let that happen. I really think Oregon gonna come out swinging. Now, I would definitely take that one by the 20 points because I think they're pissed. I would be surprised if they win in a close one on that one. I actually would have them more than 20 just because of the fact that I don't think that after that game, the Oregon is satisfied.
And Oregon's playing who this week, Hugh?
Washington State.
All right. Well, I said I've seen Washington State. Put a little respect on Cam Ward's name, my friend. He's a good quarterback. That's a good team over there. One of the two remaining Pac-12 teams that exist after this year, mind you. I don't know about that 20. I think it'll be a little closer, but yeah, I definitely say Oregon is going to feel some type of way and try to put it on Washington State. But look out for that Washington State offense. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna keep the 20 on that one,
Okay, then we'll see.
respectively,
We're gonna see.
because I feel like they should definitely want to go out and lead by example. Definitely after that game, man, because it could have went any way. It was just that Michael Penix just wanted it a little more in the end, and you start to see Bo Nix make a few mistakes that he wasn't making before. Kind of made it seem like he was back at Auburn. So yeah,
we gonna see.
did you hear the news too, man? That just came out. It's not looking too good, man. And I know I'm probably getting off the topic, but I definitely want to discuss this too, man. With the WNBA championship. Yeah, Chelsea Green's definitely gonna be out, man. And the other big girl's gonna be out too, Stokes. So yeah, man, it's looking like this might go all the way to the last game, man. Did you
Now,
hear about that one?
people. Those are two updates for you right there. This changes the whole complexity of the series.
I
Since he
died a little one.
because usually I would talk about this after the guru session, but since we running through the picks, let's go on and talk about it. Now we know game 3, we've seen a whole different side of the Liberty. Somebody got in there and said, look, we at home, we ain't going out like this, sisters. Let's handle biz. And they absolutely did. It was a whole different ball game from that second quarter on in game 3. Now with them missing a very, very key component in Chelsea Gray and Kia Stokes, the little igniter that could defensively, that's definitely going to change this game. The key for this game 4, one Jackie Young, Notre Dame. She is going to have to step her game up to another level. More than likely, I'm believing Plum will be the point guard. That's going to make her the 2 guard. She's going to have to shoot it and shoot it good. If they cannot hold her down, because I think that's the one person that they don't really have an answer for defensively, then yeah, the Aces will finish them off tonight. If not, there will be a game 5 on Sunday.
Yeah, because what I'm looking at, man, is when I seen Kia Stokes was out too, because I already was expecting Chelsea Gray, but when I seen Kia Stokes, I said, "Holy shit!" I said, "Nah, this changes everything." I definitely feel like that the Liberty had the edge, and yeah, man, like you said, Kelsey Plum gonna have to step up. Jackie Young gonna really have to elevate their game. I just feel like right now, man, by it being on the Liberty's floor. I think they're gonna find another way to pull it out, man, because they're basically kind of neck and neck as far as competitive teams, and they've been that way most of the year, where they've been kind of evenly matched. But yeah, man, they might be in trouble, man, because if Gray don't come back, or they don't have the big, body, to help out with Asia Wilson, because that's how they basically smothered them the first 2 games. Asia doing her thing, you could put Kia Stokes in. I mean, I just don't see it, man. I'm kind of more nervous than ever now, man, because Liberty possibly can run the table with these injuries, but yeah, man, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm really interested now after that, the surprising news and that shift, that what's gonna really happen in that series. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Liberty more now, man, unfortunately.
Bottom line is, if there's any way Chelsea Gray or Kia Stokes can play game 5, they will. But in the meanwhile, like I said, we'll see what happens tonight. Since we done just ran through everything this week, Q, and I already will have talked about what happens in baseball, we'll get your quick take on that as well. What are you liking in the American League and National League Championship Series so far?
Surprisingly enough, I knew Texas was going to come out hard hitting, but now you got the Rangers getting back on Scherzer, man, which is huge for them because Jordan Montgomery and the other guys been holding it down. But pick up to Bruce Bochy, man. You know, it's a possibility that he could have won in San Francisco. Then now he turned around and win with the Texas Rangers. It's looking kind of iffy though, man. I believe I thought the Houston would do a little better than what they're doing, which I'm really surprised. But yeah, I'm leaning a little bit more on the Texas Rangers to you know, when they play. But when it comes to the NL, man, I definitely feel like the Phillies gonna pull this one out too as well. But I think once it gets to the championship round, no matter who the hell come out the AL, whether it's the Rangers or whether it's the Astros, man, I'm thinking this is possibly Philly's year this year, man.
Well, I'm sure the people of Philly would love to hear you say that. Like I said, you already know how I feel by the time that this part of the show airs, so we will skip any comments I may have before we have Hugh talk about how to get in touch with him, contact, and the other things he is doing. We must first press him to this, Hugh. We got a homework assignment for you, Guru. As you know, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, starts in a couple weeks. And next week, this time in the Big Buck Sports Report, we would like to do an NBA preview of the season. Can you do it?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right. So next week we'll not only have the Guru's football session, but we will also have a NBA preview with myself and the Guru as well. So look forward to seeing that. In the meanwhile, if you want more of the Guru and what he's got going on the social media, how can they get in contact with you?
Right now, you could go to my Sports Guru to You page. That's my alternate page now, and I've been using that as my platform. And you could go on Instagram. I'm Hoovy, WHOOVI, and on there I have my linking tree to all of my accounts for the Guru Perspective. That's on Spotify and Anchor, and I'm on TikTok as well. Hugh.Lee6. Those are all my platforms that you can find me on. If you have any questions or anything that y'all want me to talk about, or, you know, if y'all want us to talk about anything, you know, on this show, the Big Buck Sport Report, y'all can hit me up on those pages and, you know, just let us know what you want to hear, what you like, don't like, what you want to hear more of. You know, definitely hit me up and let me know. And I appreciate all the people who have been following in and chiming in and showing their love and support.
And we appreciate you on this end as well. Of course, you can contact the Guru through my messenger pages as well. And that being said, this will end this week's Guru Football Session Plus, because we talked about some of everything this week. And we will catch up with you on the other side and finish up with a few comments before we end the show on the report. Okay, we'll do that. You know, let's do it out the right way and go ahead and throw a little bit that buck beat in the background as we head on out to jail. Hold on, let me get it set up. But what you got for me, bro? You got me. You got me. Go and play a little something for us, would you? And there you have it, folks. This week's Guru's football session for the week. Just finishing up right now. We got a lot going on. We got the baseball game this evening. We got WNBA playoffs game 4 going on right now. We got NBA basketball preseason. We got people warming up for college basketball, women's college basketball. So much to talk about in the weeks come. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to discussing it with you guys here on the Big Buck Sports Report. Until then, y'all have a good rest of your week. We will catch you guys soon. We just gonna straight up end it. Just like that, throw the fingers up, and we out. Deuces, people.